And in a blatant use of power, a senior police officer is seen on camera repeatedly caning the owner of a restaurant in Bengaluru for keeping his restaurant open beyond the stipulated deadline. Now, this video that you're seeing on your television screens has gone viral and has, in fact, infuriated hoteliers in Bengaluru who argued that the officer was forcing the hotel to close at midnight, which is an hour before the stipulated deadline. Those visuals are self-explanatory there. The senior police officer in abuse of power there beating up the owner of the restaurant for not closing the restaurant at the given stipulated time. Remember, restaurants in Bengaluru are meant to close at around 1 a.m. The police officer, we're given to understand, reached this restaurant at around 12 a.m. That was 1 hour before the closing time. And you can clearly see the senior police officer caning the restaurant owner repeatedly on camera. Nikhil Joshi joining us now with the phone line. Nikhil, what really explains this blatant use of power by the senior police officer? Has any action been taken against this erring police official?
This is another standing example of police atrocity and the high-handedness, which clearly is the consequence of the mindset that comes to light. And this we are looking at happen in the city of Bangalore and North Bangalore's RT Nagar. This particular raid was led by the ACP of RT Nagar police station, Mr. Manjunath Babu, and he was accompanied by a few constables as well. I'm told that this was just a little after midnight. Considering that the government itself has allowed for the restaurants to remain open till about 1 a.m. on all nights, it was a matter of surprise that, in fact, a shock that the police resorted to this kind of a behavior and reprimanded those in the hotel, including the customers. And that was not called for because the owner being pulled up, the staff being questioned is one part of it, but the customers too being targeted with caning is certainly unacceptable. And now the department on its part has ordered for an inquiry to be carried out, and this will be carried out by the DCP of the said jurisdiction, Mr. Chetan Singh Rathod. And the report will be tabled to the Commissioner of the Bangalore City, Mr. Sunil Kumar, post which the circumstance under which this particular situation unfolded, what led to what was it that prompted the police or provoked the police to resort to caning. These are details that will find crucial importance and perhaps the factors that will decide on the action that may be initiated against the police officers if at all they are to be found in the wrong. And it is also important to note that at this juncture, the version of the restaurant owner will hold some critical value because he may be able to clearly explain as to what the circumstance and the situation was and what really prompted or provoked the police to resort to lathi charge.
Absolutely. But Nikhil, was this a part of a larger raid that was going on in that particular area, Nikhil? And also, what gave him the power? On what basis did he use physical power on the restaurant owner as well as people who had come to eat at that restaurant? Even we can see in those visuals, customers are also being caned by police officers.
Well, it doesn't seem like there was this big raid exercise that was being carried out. It seems like a routine round that the ACP was on, and having found that this restaurant was functioning normally, it perhaps irked him. But there is the intent of the police itself is suspect, isn't it? Because, as I said, the state government itself allows for the restaurants to remain open till about 1 a.m. in the city of Bangalore. And considering that particular ruling, there is no reason for the police to resort to this kind of an action. But there is still only half the story said because there is more of details to be unearthed and detailed in the sense that I was telling you about how the circumstance could play a role. Perhaps there was something happening on the outside of the restaurant that perhaps prompted the police to bring a closure to it to avoid any law and order situation. Or was there any illegal activity that was being carried out in and around the restaurant? Was that the reason why the police was provoked? So there are a number of questions that seem to crop up at this juncture, and it is best left for the investigating officer who's carrying out a departmental inquiry to answer them in due course of time. And if at all parity is a factor, then going by the looks of it at the face value, it sure seems like it is a necessity to initiate action against the police officer for having used force, which clearly is beyond the rights, and for having violated the rights of a citizen.
Absolutely. We'll, of course, wait for the conclusion of the departmental inquiry that has been ordered into. The details, of course, of this entire event are awaited. As you mentioned, the statement of the restaurant owner will also going to be playing a crucial role in establishing what really went behind this entire incident. Nikhil Joshi, thanks for getting us those inputs.